All right, folks, this is one of my real gem of an interviews here. I'm here with Kenny the Enforcer Schultz. Kenny, I've known you since I started playing. You are a legend in your own time, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others. You've been called the greatest, you've been called the best. I'm not sure if those are true, but I think there's a lot of evidence for it. It's a pleasure to do this interview. So can you give us some bullet points on your career?
Let's see. Well, got my first footbag in Christmas 1977 and competed in my first tournament in 1979. So this is now 40 years of playing in footbag tournaments. I don't know how many East Coast championships I've been to, but quite a lot of these. And a few of the highlights: I won the singles net 8 times, doubles net 10 times, singles freestyle 6 times, won the overall 7 times. Back in the days when the overall was, all the thing. So not too many people play both events anymore, but that's something I respect and admire when I see people doing both events. And probably the highlight of my accomplishments in footbag was in 1989 and 90. In both years, I won singles net and singles freestyle.
Nice.
So that's pretty big.
I mean, that's massive. So your trophy case must be falling apart and bursting at the seams.
There's a few boxes, yeah.
Yeah. So what I've been discussing with Manu and Chris, I think is an interesting topic. What role would you say intimidation plays at the highest level of the game, footbag net? Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's really important. There's so much mental component to footbag, especially singles when you don't have a partner to help kind of bring you back in if you're faltering. And in singles, one of the things that I've always done kind of as a policy with young players that I'm playing in early rounds is that for 2 reasons. One is out of respect, and then 2 is I want to leave a mark, and that they'll remember. So I don't give any points. If I can take the match with at 0, I'm going to do it. I'm going to skunk you out, and that way next time I meet up with you, it might be years later, you're going to have that in your memory and experience that you couldn't score a point against me. And I think it's the way, I respect every player and their future ability, if not where they're at today. So I want to make sure I have an advantage in the future, and so I'm going to lay it on you. And
nice.
Respect you enough to basically give you my best every single point from the very beginning.
Did you have the opportunity to play Manu Bouchard when he was early in his career? Did you do that?
Not early enough.
Yeah.
I played actually I was at an East Coast Championships in I think in 1995. First time I played him, and he was already very good. But I was executing that plan. I crushed him in the first game we played. It was early in the tournament. And I remember it as 11-0. Manu thinks it was 11-1 or 2, but it was a huge first game for me. But he came back and played in game 2 and 3 and unbelievable, and beat me in that early round. So I'm in the losers bracket now. I came back to play him again in the finals, and it went 3 games, and I think he won 18-16 in the third game.
Wow.
And that was side out scoring back then, game to 15. So we're deep into overtime, and so I didn't get the chance to properly
to spank him.
Yeah, I should have met him earlier. And then we met later in 96 at Worlds, 97 at Worlds, and 98 at Worlds. And I won all of those matches at Worlds against him in the round of 16, and then the next 2 were both in semifinals. And then I retired from singles at the end of 97, and so it was 95, 96, 97 were the 3 years I played him at Worlds. And then after I quit, he won the next 12 years in a row without losing a final at Worlds after that. So I came back in 2004 after 7 years of watching him beating people and thinking, well, I don't know if I can beat him, but I think I can give a better go. And we had a pretty epic final match in Montreal in 2004. I should have picked a different year that wasn't on his home
turf.
Yeah, that was probably a strategic error. He won. It was a very, very close match, but he won that, and I did get to play him again at Green Cup in the following in 2005, and beat him there to put an end to I think at that time it was like a 6-year winning streak in tournaments that he hadn't lost. So that was so that was good to do that. But then he went on and won the next another 5 years of world championships.
Of Manu.
Yeah, in those 12 years of winning singles, I think it's one of the, I wish footpeg was better known, and that accomplishment was more well known in sports. I think that was one of the great accomplishments by anyone in any sport.
He's fantastic.
The mental, the mental component of that. Because I've been in that position of coming into Worlds with the expectation you're going to win, and it's a heavy pressure to feeling, and it's like it's hard on you emotionally, and that he did that for 12 years is pretty, it's huge.
He's a special guy. Here, let's move away I have just one more question. I just want to move away from this music and these beautiful young children here having a great time. I respect that. I love that. Yeah. But it's hard to do the interview.
Little birthday festival.
Yeah, it's lovely. Look, we got the kids. Everybody's having a good time. So, one more question. I was talking to your son, Jasper.
Yeah.
And I was telling him I was going to ask you that question about intimidation. And he said it's funny that my dad got beat a few times by some people who were foolish enough to think that they could. So how does that affect your game when somebody is not intimidated by you?
Well, that's all of the great singles players have had an irrational arrogance.
Yes.
Manu for one. Randy Mulder also had that, really kind of irrational arrogance, and I think you see that in a lot of sports, and I think it helps because it's hard, and confidence is a huge component of, are you going to make the shot? Are you going to play your best? And having that almost sort of irrational arrogance is definitely an advantage.
Well, does it throw you?
When I'm on the receiving end of it,
yeah,
it's definitely, I prefer to play someone who has reverence for me.
Sure,
Absolutely, yeah.
And
it's
not
an
that you don't
advantage
deserve
for
it,
me. So yeah, it's someone who doesn't comes in thinking this guy's old and slow and I'm gonna beat him. That's puts me off.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be giving away these secrets.
We got it.
This isn't gonna.
We got the Enforcer's kryptonite. We got the kryptonite. Hey, Superman. This has been a real pleasure. You're a legend. You're a nice guy. I'm glad to know you. So everybody out there in internet land, this has been Kenny Schultz, Matt Cross at the East Coast Footbag Championships.
Awesome.
Have a great day, Kenny, and
Good
thank
times.
you.
Yeah, thanks.